I can't believe you're doing this to me.
What?
Taking all the attention away from me with your...
No one's going to be looking at me. All eyes are going to be on you. It's your big day.
I know it's my big day. I don't want you to be all hulky at my wedding. Promise me, Jen. Promise.
I promise. I will just show up as regular Jen at your wedding.
Thank you.
Hey, I'm Derek.
And I'm Noah, and you're listening to A Bite Of,
where we take our current favorite pop culture obsession and enjoy it one nibble at a time.
Oh my God.
Do you think...
He's like yelling at me.
Do you think if people were to hear that for the first time, they would know what I was saying?
What?
Where we take our current favorite...
Oh, no, you said words.
Did I?
Yeah.
Sometimes, I don't know. Sometimes I'm like, I say this a lot, so is it just gobbledygook to me?
Yeah. But not to them.
But not to them.
Yeah. You're saying fully formed words.
Good to know. I'm glad to hear it.
Episode 6 of She-Hulk. This is interesting, guys. This is really interesting because we would be done with the normal shows in the MCU. And not this time.
2/3 of the way through She-Hulk. Can we believe it? We were like, oh my God, I can't believe there's 9 episodes. And now we only have 3 left.
Yeah. But yeah, it's interesting. They're going by real quick.
I'm going to miss them. I'm going to say it now, preemptively.
The
I
show?
love this crew.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
I know. Who's going to make it out of She-Hulk? Not alive.
Oh, geez.
Who are we going to see again? Like, are we going to see Nikki? Are we going to see Pug? You know?
Oh, yeah.
Is there going to be second season? Is she just going to show up in a new movie?
She's got to be in a movie.
Yeah.
Come on.
There's tons of stuff. But speaking of gotta be in something, you gotta be following us on Instagram, Facebook, Twitter at A Bite of Pod.
As we move through this life together, I see
rude
you taking things from me and me taking things from you, and that segue was like a bizarre Derek pun if I've ever heard one.
It's rubbing off, man. It's rubbing off.
We're becoming one.
Secondly, if you want to become one with us, we have a Patreon where you can donate. You get cool stuff. You get bonus episodes, videos, all that cool stuff. And I said it last time, but I'm going to say it again. We came out with our summer feast. I know it's the second / when will you listen to this? 3rd, 4th day of fall. But we did a summer feast where we talked about the shows and movies that we didn't talk about on the podcast. And there's that. So go do that if you like it. Last but not least, leave a review. Give us some stars. Say hi. And that's it. Housekeeping done.
Should we get down to business?
I guess.
All right, let's take a look back at She-Hulk Attorney at Law episode 5. Mean, green, and straight poured into these jeans.
Side note, my favorite episode title of all time of any TV show ever. Loved it.
All right, putting it in writing.
I loved it.
It's been recorded. We pick up with Jen reeling at the fact that Titania has trademarked the She-Hulk moniker, plastered it all over her regime of beauty products, and is of course suing her. Nikki and Jen skip the line at a Titania She-Hulk influencer event to let Titania know that they aren't backing down.
Nope.
Titania's vocal fry doesn't care at all.
Stop.
Mallory defends Jen in court, where she has to sit through her string of horrible dates, taking the stand to prove she personally used the name She-Hulk before Titania decided to trademark it. Meanwhile, Pug and Nikki meet designer to the quote-unquote super stars, Luke Jacobson, and get Jen an appointment. All ends well with Jen winning the case, sharing a somewhat friendly drink with Mallory, and trying on her new designer duds. Avengers assemble.
Oh, you can't forget, we saw Daredevil's helm.
Oh, yeah, that too. But it doesn't really, like, I kind of feel like this is like it's like how in this episode of She-Hulk, they talked about something of Bruce destroying her blood from like the first episode because it's what mattered. Like, we saw the Daredevil helm, but it didn't matter for this episode.
Yeah, that was the point.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, they did it on purpose.
They did a little tricky trick. So, spoiler alert.
Yep,
You've been alerted for spoilers.
Wow.
Let us officially take a bite of She-Hulk Attorney at Law episode 6. Just Jen.
Just Jen.
Just Jen. Or like Will and Grace. Just Jen.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, like Jack.
Just Jen.
Oh, I love it. So this I have to right out the gate, one, say another week, another great episode, continuously pure joy, funny, enjoying every second of the show. It is the one show so far that we've gotten where there's no stakes, really. It's just fun. It's just nice to watch.
It's just
Jen.
Yeah, I feel like I'm battling myself a lot of the time because I have to like remind myself that it's a Marvel show, and then when I remind myself it's a Marvel show, I have to say, but it's not
Just Jen.
a typical Marvel show.
Right, exactly.
It's like I'm like waiting for the dark hook to come in, and it just hasn't happened yet, which is refreshing.
It will. I mean, there's obviously stakes at play, but it does seem like it's refreshing. They're completely rewriting the whole, as some people put it, the Marvel formula, because they're giving you things but not giving you the whole thing.
Yeah.
You're expecting something, you're not getting that, but then you're getting things you don't expect. It's really, really interesting. And I feel like this is the first time a show has continued outside of the show with stuff with the end credit scenes, the sketches and everything. You kind of see like loose ends being tied up, but also the social media. They're continuing it through that. It's a weird fourth wall-y meta. It's fun. It's really cool.
Yeah. It feels like we're being embraced into the universe in a different way as far as like the social media is being concerned. How like Jamila Jamil is basically Titania on her own personal
100%.
social media.
I get confused by the actual Titania account and Jamila Jamil's actual Twitter
It's
account.
like, is she supposed to be switching accounts between tweeting and she's just forgetting?
It's such a Titania thing to do, to not and just get followers on both.
Yes, absolutely.
But I did like, speaking of Daredevil, it was from the episode title to the first really time Jen talks to us through the show. The writers knew 100% how people would react to this episode, and they did it on purpose, and I love it. They gave us that cliffhanger of showing Daredevil's helm. We know Matt Murdock is going to be in the show.
Mhm.
We've seen it. The market, it was part of the marketing. When? We don't know. We assumed it was in this episode, but they're like, what's really inconvenient? Weddings. And is this at a really inconvenient time? Yes, but deal with it.
Yeah. It's like they're taking everything.
so good.
Like, I feel like part of the process of creating this show, all the writers are sitting down going, okay, what are all of the haters going to say? What are all the online trolls going to say? They mapped it out and they said, okay, how could we make them hate it even more? And they're like doing these things on purpose just to annoy them because they could predict how these horrible troll gatekeeping fans.
How does it feel to be so predictable that they could make a show just to make you angry?
Yeah.
It's so fun.
Absolutely. And it's like they're absolutely achieving what they set out to
100%.
do.
Yeah. And if you're watching the show for Daredevil, there's nothing necessarily wrong with that, except you're not watching a Daredevil show. You're
Mhm.
watching a She-Hulk show. They said it from the beginning. Enjoy it.
Yeah, it's like
He's getting 18 episodes in his show. Like,
you'll get enough.
yeah.
That's double this show. And also, yeah, I mean, to the same effect, it's like you didn't go to see the last Spider-Man movie to see him.
Right.
He showed up in it. Everybody hooted and hollered in the theater.
I mean, to that point, though, I will say that, well, maybe they did it on purpose, but maybe they should have just saved his stuff for like a surprise, just because it is kind of like, it's annoying hearing about like, where's Daredevil? Where's Daredevil? It's like, it's a She-Hulk show. Like, let's focus on that, because nobody knew about Daredevil being in No Way Home. It was a bigger surprise.
Well, and absolutely. But I also think in She-Hulk, it's like, it's another lawyer. So,
right.
You know what I mean? You're like, he's going to show up. Although I have a theory.
Ooh, theories.
Theories.
But I was excited that this was going to be a wedding episode. Also, because in the mid-season trailer, it looked like Titania and Jen were going to fight at some type of event. And this was that event.
We made it.
I was so excited.
'Twas a barn wedding.
The invitation Jen gets to this wedding, being told to be the bridesmaid, is the most obnoxious thing I've ever seen in my life. How many feathers and like fake rhinestones do you need on top of a box?
Hot glue rhinestone, baby. Get that trim going.
Confetti and glitter all over.
Okay, I am one that would enjoy a confetti moment.
Everybody that knows you love glitter and love confetti.
And you're judging me.
No.
Okay, it sounded like you were coming for me.
Most people do not like that as a surprise and getting it everywhere.
Okay, segue. You know what I would never want? Have you ever seen one of those like present boxes that when you
all over
open
Instagram,
it, those like mechanical butterflies shoot out?
No, that's fun.
No, that's scary. That I don't want.
But that's not messy.
Fake bugs flying at your face
oh my God.
from a box?
Yeah.
No.
It's nice. I don't want confetti.
Okay, so keep that in mind. Write it down.
Yeah.
I'll get you the butterfly box. You get me an exploding confetti box. We'll be all good.
Well, to keep the inconveniences at an extreme, they also have their wedding on a Thursday, which I don't really find inconvenient if it's somebody that you care for.
Yeah.
But
Two of our best friends had a wedding on a Thursday.
Exactly. We had our wedding on a Friday. Like, you had to take Thursday off because you were part of the wedding party, most of our friends. So
and they did.
They did.
Yeah.
But if it's somebody that you like don't really know and they're like making you go and it's on a Thursday, that's a lot.
Yeah, Lulu, I mean, this felt like a last minute bridesmaid invite.
You're asking your high school friend to be bridesmaids. You either are desperate, or you don't have friends, which I think it's both. I think for her, it's both.
It felt sort of like, I really want Jonathan to be a part of the wedding, but who will walk down the aisle with Jonathan? I don't know. Oh, I know. I'll just invite Jen.
I leave the dog at home. I don't think it's going to go anywhere.
He almost died.
That's fine.
They needed to watch him.
She-Hulk walking up to this wedding venue, killer, stunning.
Yeah.
Loved it. Luke made an amazing rehearsal dinner dress for her. It was amazing. I loved it. Yeah.
And it was nice seeing, so for Jen, right, we've sort of seen her feeling down on her luck, feeling bad about herself, not knowing how to handle being She-Hulk. And now in this episode, she feels like, wait, I got it.
Oh, yeah.
I feel great about myself. I want to show myself off. I'm proud to be She-Hulk. I won the name. And then, she gets there and it doesn't go as planned.
No, they're all mean girls to her. Except at first it seems like the bridal party is like, oh, this is amazing. But Lulu is like, you cannot be Hulk at my wedding. I kind of almost get it because it is her wedding.
Stealing her thunder.
So why would you steal her thunder? But also, you have She-Hulk at your wedding? Like, from what I saw of that wedding, there was nothing there that was memorable aside from everything that She-Hulk did.
Well, agreed. And I also feel like it's a bit contradictory for later on, but whatever. I do want to say that Lulu is played by the amazing Patty Harrison.
Oh, guys. We have an assignment for you.
Yes.
We cannot say the full lyrics here because I know we have an E next to our podcast where it's explicit, but this is explicit, but it is so funny.
It's so funny. So just go on YouTube, search Patty Harrison performs the song she wrote for Dua Lipa. It's part of her comedy special. It's so hilarious. She does some fun dance moves in it, and it's just absurd in the best way possible.
It is hilarious. Do you want to sing like a little bit of it just to entice them to actually go do this? Please do this.
All right. So the chorus goes like this. I would kill myself if you asked me to. I would kill myself. I would kill myself for you. So it sounds ridiculous.
She's doing it for Dua Lipa.
Yes, she wrote it for Dua Lipa. It was rejected, but the song is about what the lengths you would go to for someone you were in love with who you just fell in love with because you met them 10 minutes ago. Because they're a little bit taller than you and served you a sandwich.
The more that she goes in the song, the more ridiculous the things that she would do for this person. Please just listen to it. That's why when we saw her, we got very excited that she was in the MCU, but like also just kind of continuously played that character almost. It's so good. It's so good. But she is big mad that Big Green is there and she's like, just don't be She-Hulk, which Jen, being Jen, just Jen, she agrees. She's like, okay, I get it. It's your wedding. I'm not going to whatever.
Even though she got both of her dresses tailored for her 6'7" frame.
That was kind of sad. So when you do see her as Jen, but she did have the dresses fitted for it, it was a little big. So she kind of,
the Empire waist is actually at her actual waist. It's not okay.
It's at the boot.
Yeah.
But Lulu, I feel like so far in this show, like Titania is the villain, kind of, but she's like fun and like not actually really a threat right now to She-Hulk. So far, Lulu has been the only villain.
You're right.
To She-Hulk.
Totally.
She really has.
Straight up just being mean
Yeah.
for mean's sake.
Yeah. Going further, not only does she have to walk her dog Jonathan down the aisle, but Titania is there. And you know Lulu knew that Titania was coming. And you know that Lulu knew that they had something going on.
Yeah.
Rude.
Yeah, rude. And this is where my problem comes in. This is the hypocrisy.
This
of
is
Lulu.
where the problem comes in.
Because she shames Jen for being She-Hulk and trying to quote unquote steal her thunder. But then meanwhile, you allow and fully welcome an influencer into your wedding.
It's very clear on what Lulu wants to get out of this wedding, and it wants to show the people that she's better than all of them. So bringing Titania there is literally the embodiment of envy. And it's just,
But
it's
what
so...
about She-Hulk?
Oh, she doesn't care.
You're friends with She-Hulk.
She's not, though. She's like friends, but not.
She-Hulk is your bridesmaid.
Jen has never said anything. Who did she say her best friend was? Nikki. Not Lulu, Nikki. So, Lulu, go away.
But there's Jen. I mean, we saw in the last episode, Jen would not skip the line at the influencer event. She took just one photo.
One.
For that person. And here she is.
Jen is very nice. She's very nice. She is going. I feel like there's going to be a point where she's just like, you know what? I'm done. Even in this conversation that Lulu and Titania and Jen have, more Titania and Jen, it's very much like, you know, who's better than the other one, even though Jen's just like, why is she here? Like, she's going to try to hurt me, which she does eventually. But I love the moment. I've said it again. I mean, Jamila Jamil is so good as his character. The part where Lulu is talking and then Jen is talking back with her and she's just staring, you know, Titania's staring at She-Hulk. It's just like, it's kind of scary.
Yeah.
And then she tells her, you're being so loud.
Yeah.
It's
I
so
love that.
funny.
She just has the perfect quip and like back talk to whatever Jen has to offer. She just manages to get her with everything.
It's so good. They're evenly matched in that. And I love how they're doing these two characters because they are rivals, but they do get to a point where there's an understanding with them, and it's just kind of like a punching match at that point. It's really cool.
I like to think about Jamila Jamil like getting ready for the day on set, and I feel like in my mind, when she fully becomes Titania is whenever they do whatever like under eye makeup treatment.
Like the glitter or whatever?
Yeah, like last time it was like stones or Swarovskis. This time it was like gold leaf.
Yeah.
Like I feel like once she has that on, Jamila Jamil looks in the mirror and she is no longer JJ. She's Titania.
It's so good. At this wedding, there's no +1, which is also very weird.
Telling you last minute.
But see, this is where the weird thing is.
Tell me.
Why did what's-his-face, whoever Jamila Jamil went there to be with, why did he get a +1 for her, but Jen didn't get a +1? Rude. Speaking of, who else didn't get a +1?
Who?
Josh.
Tell us more about Josh.
I don't know. I don't know much about him. Except he's really nice, and he only shows up when Jen's by herself. And he came out of nowhere. I don't see him anywhere else with anybody else.
Yeah.
I'm suspicious. I hope he's either like a secret superhero in disguise, not a secret supervillain in disguise, working with the Wrecking Crew.
Wrecking Crew.
I mean,
they all had face masks on, ski masks.
Yeah, it was very hard to see them. I'm keeping my eye out on him.
Yeah. Yeah. I'll tell you what, at the end of this episode, there are 3 people I don't trust.
Whoa, 3?
3. I've given up my
Nikki
theory, my Nikki theory.
You have to.
I gave it up. I'm
Good.
giving it up.
I'm glad.
I'm putting it to rest.
He came to the right side.
All right. I don't trust Josh.
No.
I don't trust Titania.
Well, of course not.
We don't know. Who? Excuse me. How did Titania get her powers? Explain that.
So this goes to the perfect other part that we have to talk about with
You're
this
welcome.
wedding, with their fight.
Segue.
When after Jen, obviously, I guess the wedding happened. They're at the reception. What else would you do at a wedding that you've not really care to be at than get drunk?
Get drunk.
Cash bar? Absolutely not. That
That's
is
Lulu for you.
insane.
That's
never
Lulu.
have a cash bar. I mean, if you do, whatever. But just don't invite me.
Yeah, open bars are expensive, but
They're
this
worth
is just
it.
adding salt to the wound for
Right.
Jen.
She gets really drunk and goes outside to puke. Titania takes the opportunity to sucker punch her in the face. But while Jen is literally down and they talk, Titania kind of says this thing that I've heard it twice now. And every time she says it, I'm like, there's more to what she's trying to say or doesn't say than what she does say. So she tells her, like, you don't even want these powers. You're acting like this and stuff like that. And you didn't even want them in the first place. So it's like, okay.
So you wanted them.
So yeah, did she want them? Did she not have a choice to get those powers? Is there some more sinister, obviously, person pulling the strings behind
What
it?
did
Like
she
what?
make a deal with?
Right. Where Jake, the goat, Satan,
Oh, that's right.
Madison.
Madison.
She better come back. She has to come back.
They're writing her into the last episode right now. They're
No, I mean-
refilming it.
Like in the MCU in some way.
For some reason, I feel like she would fit really well with the Loki crew.
Oh my God. Imagine Loki season 2. They go to a timeline and Madison is like King the Conqueror status,
Or she's
but it's just a utopia.
yeah. Or she's the Loki of that world.
Oh my God. Yes.
Let's party.
I love it. Yeah.
Loki with 2 Y's. Yoki.
So yes, hopefully Madison does come back. But I thought that was interesting. She does say something that it wasn't the sentence structure wasn't where you thought it might go. I don't know. It was interesting. Like, why would she say that to her?
Yeah,
I don't know.
it seems like it's more than just jealousy.
Right.
You know, for the sake of being jealous.
Right. Actually, both of our characters kind of let something slip about themselves, Titania and Jen. When Jen's like really drunk and talking to Josh before she goes outside to puke and Titania punches her.
Yeah.
She talks about how she really she says, she's like, I really wanted to come to be amazing. Everybody thinks She-Hulk is amazing. And I wanted to be amazing, but she has to be just Jen.
Yeah.
And then Josh, of course, uses that charmingness to say the perfect line. And he says, well, I think you're amazing. Which brings me to the point of either he's just Mr. Perfect or he's really trying hard.
Yeah, he's trying to get close to her for
Right.
some reason.
Yeah.
I also want to point out, so a lot happened like in these little moments of her drunk at the table. She's also calling Bruce on the phone.
Yeah,
She's
yeah,
trying
yeah.
to get in touch with her cousin. Maybe
Well, it's
get some
going straight to
advice.
voicemail.
Yeah, well, he's in space.
Yeah. Which I don't think we're going to see anything of for a while.
Space Hulk.
Here he goes.
Coming news.
Gamma rays.
In space.
Sorry, guys, if that was really loud.
Can you even that out on the edit, Noah?
Yeah. No,
No.
I'm not going to. The fight, though, between Titania and She-Hulk at this point, I really enjoyed it. It was sweet and to the tune of "It's electric,"
Oh,
but
so
it was
good.
very short.
So short.
So short. When she
They usually
tries,
like one punch in.
when she literally, when she tries to turn into She-Hulk, and she's like, I forgot how to do it. Because she's so
Too
drunk.
wasted.
It's so fucking funny. Oh my God. Tatiana is so charming as this character. And I'm glad we got to see more of just Jen
Yeah.
in this over She-Hulk. Because we've got a lot of She-Hulk lately. It's just Jen this time.
We did get a really good She-Hulk, like,
Yeah.
which I appreciated.
Yeah. When she stopped on the ground to like push her into the actual venue space, that was so cool. The
Yeah.
slow-mo punch right out of a comic page.
She did the little stompy on the ground and broke all the stuff.
It was so good.
stonework.
So good. But very short.
Too short.
I think there was just also too much collateral damage around, so maybe they kind of.
Sure.
That's what I'm just gonna say.
Okay.
The season needed it.
I agree.
Yeah.
We need more of it.
Yeah.
I do want to say, okay, maybe this is an unpopular opinion. Can we stop making Ched a thing? I mean,
I like Ched.
I like
He's a
the
jack of all trades.
DJ Inchedible Hulk. I thought that was hilarious. But I'm just not sure if I get it. It's just not landing personally.
I think he's just kind of like he's going to fill that spot of that character in the episode that needs to do some type of thing, and that's him.
I
Like
gotcha.
pushing the product, being a DJ at the wedding.
Yeah.
It's like, why get another extra when you can have this
Ched,
Ched do it
the Inchedible.
for everything? That is really funny. I didn't even hear that he said that.
Yeah. I
mean-
do like the pun.
Your cousin is She-Hulk, and your other cousin is the Incredible Hulk, so you're the
Incredible.
But also got promoted at Best Buy, so we can't.
I feel like he's left that gig.
Yeah.
He's got so much other stuff going on.
Maybe. I hope he didn't.
He's getting DJ gigs. He's pushing She-Hulk merch.
Yeah, well, that didn't last long.
I know, but now are they collector's items that he can get even more for?
eBay.
Hello.
Wow.
People
Good
want
point.
that Titania She-Hulk line.
I would.
They thought it was a collab, but it's not.
I would really like that, actually. This fight. So this is kind of where we're going to end the wedding conversation because, again, surprise, there's an A and B plot to this. Titania slips on ice and smacks her face on the ground. She KOs herself and busts her veneers where her accent almost came out. I think it might have been really hard for her to talk like that. When she first starts talking, it does sound a little like Jamila Jamil's accent, just a little bit, but it didn't.
Well, I guess, it was funny because you're like looking at it and it's like clearly it's like some weird prosthetic teeth in front of her real teeth. So trying to balance that, hold it in with your lip while also trying to do a vocal fry.
No.
That's a lot.
Absolutely not. Not going to happen.
But she does respond in the way that I would have responded by stealing an entire tier of a wedding cake.
The whole tier of the wedding cake. She's like, I'm taking this too. And she leaves. So good. It's so funny.
Yes.
Exactly what I want from that.
Yeah. And we see in the end credits, she's getting new veneers put back on.
Great.
So
she has the money.
Perfect. Titania's teeth are going to be back.
Lulu is also, she comes in. Real quick, her outfit, whatever the hell she was wearing.
Little Bo Peep.
Little Bo Peep from like, I don't know, just like a weird Grimm's fairy tale going. Like, it's just not, there was tulle on her head and like, it wasn't good.
No, it wasn't.
But then, of course, because it made her wedding exciting, she's like all for She-Hulk now. And again, puts her face to her bosoms.
Huge boobs. Huge boobs.
Her huge boobs. So again, she's really fake. I hope to never see her again. I hope your dog exists still. And
that was nice of you.
Yeah. You're all... I do think they named him Jonathan. Have you seen the Paul Rudd interview during Ant-Man and the Wasp?
No.
So they were asking, he was like naming Mjolnir, and he named it Jonathan.
That's funny.
So it's like the only other thing in the MCU that's Jonathan is that interview from Paul Rudd talking about Mjolnir. So I have to think that they did it because of that. That was also in our spoilers without context because it was too perfect.
I support this theory.
So this part of the episode, Mr. Immortal and Nikki and Mallory, so interesting. It's very out of left field. I loved that these characters got more screen time and kind of do things without She-Hulk being present. Very interesting. He's getting sued by a lot of ex-spouses. A lot.
Now, Mr. Immortal is real, correct?
Yes.
In
the
Marvel?
comics. Yes, he is very, very real.
But he's like a hero. Or is he a villain?
Yeah, no, he's a hero.
Oh,
he's for sure. Yeah. So guys, this is going to get kind of dumb, very sad.
Oh.
And then back to She-Hulk.
Great. I'm here for the ride. I'm buckling myself in.
So after he goes to Nikki and Mallory to like talk about the 7 wives and everything like that, and he kills himself anytime he's inconvenienced or didn't want to be with
Feels
somebody.
Uncomfortable.
Yeah, just jumps out a window, which I thought was hilarious.
He has to pay for that window. He also has to pay for the car that he broke.
He should have the money.
Hello.
He's immortal. Come on. So he founded one of the greatest Avengers teams in comic history, the Great Lakes Avengers.
The Great Lakes Avengers. I love that.
The GLA. And guess where they are? Wisconsin.
I love that.
Yeah. The team, like the founding team, comprised of Mr. Immortal, Big Bertha, Doorman, Flatman, and Good Boy.
Doorman.
What
does Doorman do?
Just has doors.
I love it.
No, he like teleports and stuff like that. Like doors.
He's Monsters Inc.
Yeah.
He has the doors.
So he founded that team. This is the Avengers of the Midwest. There's Avengers of the West Coast, all this stuff. There's a lot of Avengers teams out there in the comics. Don't ask me why. This group is particularly kind of funny because they're Z-list heroes that try hitching their team to well-known superheroes, like whatever's happening with them, and then they kind of show up and they're like, "Oh, the Great Lake Avengers are here," and they're like, "Okay." So it's really good. They have like serious moments, but it's kind of slapsticky almost.
Mhm.
I actually really enjoy the comics. So that's the fun part of this. It was made by John Burns, who actually made She-Hulk break the fourth wall. So see
Oh,
that connection there?
yeah.
It's kind of fun.
He loves a little humor in his comics.
They were actually introduced in the West Coast Avengers, which is funny.
That is good.
Yeah. So Mr. Immortal's origins, I have to talk about this. I don't think it's going to play any part in the show, but I think it's really interesting to know about this character and then what we got. So, as a child, his mother died, but before her death, she asked the cosmic entity Death Urge to look after her son. Death Urge then was with Craig, who is Mr. Immortal, Craig Hollis, for a while. He had constant patterns of dangerous behavior, like playing in traffic, blah, blah, blah. So, like, Death Urge was like, I'm going to help you.
Protecting you. Stop.
Yeah, it's the cosmic entity of death. It's in the name.
Death Urge.
Eventually, Death Urge tricked Craig into burning his own house down, which killed his father. He ended up in foster care, where he fell in love with his foster sister, who ended up dying because she killed herself.
Oh my gosh.
It's very grim. It's not over. Somewhere along the way,
Jonathan.
Jonathan appeared. The dog. Death Urge stopped appearing. He just kind of got bored with Craig after playing with him for so long.
Over it.
And then Craig, Mr. Immortal, attempted suicide for the first time, learning that he had the ability to not die.
Wow.
So that's how he discovered he had powers.
It's so interesting. This is one of the lightest episodes of She-Hulk.
Yeah.
And we brought up the Parody Harrison song, Mr. Immortal's death.
Origins,
This is craziness.
Yeah, he has a pretty crazy history in the comics. I mean, his character almost is a little frightening. Whenever he comes back to life, he goes in through like fits of like extreme rage.
Ooh.
So like people have to calm him down and like console him or restrain him and stuff like that. So it's a little more crazier in the comics than we saw. We saw ours just fell out the window and got up and walked away. Yeah.
It feels sort of like Suicide Squadian.
A little bit.
Right? Where he's like this hero with like an edge to him, and it's not always like, pie in the sky, all happy rainbows and kittens and stuff.
Yeah. I mean, if you kind of like those obscure, weird comics or teams, I would definitely check out the Great Lakes Avengers. They're pretty odd. I almost want to say they're like Doom Patrol.
Oh, yeah.
If you watch,
I was thinking that as well.
That's how they kind of feel. Like they're a little obscure. They're very zealous. They kind of go with their own things, but each one of them, their powers are kind of like hinder them in a weird way, or like how they got them, just like Doom Patrol.
Right.
I will say this is the biggest reveal of this episode, and I think it was very quietly put out there. This is our second mutant introduced into the MCU, because Mr. Immortal is a mutant. Technically, he's a Homo Superior, just like a different class. I'm not going to get that nerdy on you guys.
Homo superior. Oh, my.
But he is a mutant, so just plain and simple. So more mutants in the MCU are showing up. I kind of see what they're doing. They're like trickling in these people here and there.
It's not official until you get that.
Well, we did get it with Kamala Khan.
That's what I'm saying. So she's officially a mutant. He's not yet.
Yeah. He also looks older, so he's probably like centuries old.
They like skimmed the top coat of this character and just gave him the name. I mean, it doesn't seem like it has any real relationship to the comics.
There was, if I'm remembering correctly, there was supposed to be a Squirrel Girl show. They even did a pilot and everything. And I believe Mr. Immortal was supposed to be attached to that, but like the actual young version like he is in the comics. So this is a different character, but I do think it's interesting that they kind of picked that character up and put him somewhere else. So it was in their minds, I guess.
It's always so I'm always sort of fascinated by these like sort of Z-list heroes that they bring into these shows, that they kind of feel like it's a one-off thing. Like we'll bring him in, no one will care, and then that'll be the end of him. Yeah,
I'm excited for the MCU going forward, because we are getting a lot of these for a lot of even comic readers, just general comic readers, and definitely general audiences. There's going to be some wacko, just out there people being introduced. I'm very excited for it.
Well, I even feel like something like the Thunderbolts isn't really known by general
No,
folk.
it's pretty It's obscure because it's not like the Suicide Squad, because DC really pushes that even before the movie. So yeah, I'm excited for that.
So thank you for that mini before you watch Mr. Immortal that
You're
we
welcome.
just had within this episode.
There's characters that have kind of been hinted at, like the Wrecking Crew and stuff like that I could have gone more in depth with, but I thought this character was just so interesting, and you guys know how I like my dark horror stuff. I just had to share it with you. Happy spooky month early.
All right. I'm leaning into spooky month. So what's great about this is that we see Mallory sort of giving Nikki the lead with this entire thing.
She's opening up a little more.
Yeah.
It's nice.
Or is she?
I don't know. I want to trust her, but I don't know.
That's my third person I don't trust.
Yeah, I don't know.
Something fishy happens at the end of their little interaction that I'm like, I don't really think you're telling the truth, Mal.
Yeah, it is. It's very iffy.
Yeah.
There is a lot. So what was it? 7, 6, 9 spouses. Yeah. I do like that canonly Mr. Immortal is bisexual.
Bam.
And there was also somebody who we can assume goes by he.
Yeah.
Is also there, which I thought was great.
Sebastian.
I didn't even remember the name. That's really cool. So when they're listening to him talk about the spouses, he mentioned, or no, I think it's the spouses that mention this. They mentioned this website called Intelligencia.
Yeah, Intelligencia.
Yeah. That name, I'm sorry, guys. In the comics, Intelligencia is a group of the best and most sinister intellectuals. So it does make sense.
Evil Smarties.
MODOK is a part of it, which we know he's going to be in Ant-Man and the Wasp: Quantumania. Also, the leader is connected to it, who we saw in Incredible Hulk in 2008.
Yeah.
And we know he's coming back in Captain America 4. And I have said many times, the leader is behind this.
What are they doing?
It's just pointing to it. But anyway, so they found that him killing himself and coming back and stuff like that on this website. It almost seems like a Reddit made for like incels.
It's like QAnon.
It's like incel Reddit.
Yeah.
Which, yeah.
I mean,
yeah.
Depending which side you go on.
Yeah, exactly. So I thought that was a cool little...
So, and I feel like that's really the biggest little seed. You know, this is a little breadcrumb that we needed from this whole Mr. Immortal.
Yeah, they're definitely planting seeds, to use your word, to further some of the plot that we may not see right away. I think it is smart. I don't mind stuff like that because it kind of makes you think a little bit and be on the lookout constantly.
Mm-hmm.
I like that.
You like it?
Yeah. Last one. Can I say one more?
Yeah.
I'm sorry. He really said a lot of things, and there's just a lot of connections. He talks about his first wife, Baroness Cromwell.
Yeah.
We've seen that name before.
Bridgerton.
We've seen the name before in Falcon and Winter Soldier. We see it again. Essentially, has superpowers similar to a vampire.
Oh.
So she's out there. So we'll see.
So he's immortal. She might be immortal.
Yeah.
Vampiric.
Yeah, we know Blade's coming.
Hello. Blade quantity.
So, to the case at hand, they settle it.
Yeah.
At first, with splitting it equally, which personally, I would have been like, fine, whatever. But some of them are like, no, I was married 18 years. This person had a child with him. They say no. So Nikki decides to like, okay, we're going to do this unconventionally. And we're going to give you everybody what you really want from him.
And some of them need emotional closure. They need an I'm sorry.
Business ventures.
Hello.
20 seconds of intense eye contact while you apologize, which...
That's a lot.
That would be the worst one if it's like mandatory. You know what I mean? Like you have to be in a room in the court, look at this person for 20 seconds exactly, no more, no less, and apologize.
Sorry. But
it has to be sincere.
I'm so sorry.
Oh my God.
I took my life to stop being married to you. You just sing for 20 seconds.
Yeah. They settle it. It's fine. It was it kind of seems like a throwaway part of the story, but it's going to affect the rest of the MCU/show. So it was kind of important. That's why it was there. Yeah.
And then the two of them, after they are happy with what happened, Mallory's so proud of Nikki. They have a little conversation.
Oh my God.
Mallory lets some details out that she's been married for 11 years and has a kid.
What?
Huh?
What?
What?
And then she tries to ask her about it, and she's like, no.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Second time, 2 episodes in a row.
Mhm.
Mallory's like, I'll let you close, but not too close.
Yeah. Interesting. It's very interesting. I want to see why.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not going to say it's because she's a villain, but I'm not going to not say it's not because she's
I
a
think
villain.
she's an informer. There, I said it.
Well, she might be,
An informer.
bad things might have happened to her.
Maybe it is for her kid.
Maybe superpowers.
She's doing something to save her child.
Oh.
Right? She didn't have a
Oh,
choice.
no. Is that why they want the blood? Is she being manipulated, thinking that it's going to help,
Yeah.
but it's really not?
Because she says something which I thought was like an interesting detail, unless this is just how they were revealing. She said something like, yeah, married for 11 years. It'll be 11 years the day before my son's birthday or something like that. Like, what a weird in October. Like, why? What a weird thing to add.
He's a spooky month, baby.
I guess so. He's like, oh, whoa.
In this scene, they go into the Intelligencia website.
Yeah.
And they have to make an account to go in. And it's like asking you questions like, are you feel about She-Hulk? Like,
Prove you're a douche.
Yeah.
Got it.
Again, it's for, assholes. Like, they literally, in the show, made assholes, like, the leader or whoever the people are doing this are weaponizing these assholes to go, okay, like, do you guys not see the parallels
Sounds
here? It's
like
just
America.
it's so good. It's so smart. It's funny. I love it. They go on there, they see a bunch of memes, a bunch of hate speech towards She-Hulk, crosshairs on her face, everything.
Yeah.
It's kind of scary.
Cancel She-Hulk.
Yeah, well, that's been an actual one, so good job predicting that one.
Ugh.
Mallory doesn't want Nikki to tell Jen. She does anyway, which
She's very adamant about her not telling
best
her.
friend. You have to tell her.
Of course.
Yeah, you have to.
Nikki.
Even if it's like, oh, it was really weird. I just want to let you know that this whole thing is out there, even though you've been She-Hulk for like a month.
It's a little thing called BT dubs.
Yeah.
Just letting you know. Love you, girl.
So, no end credit scene this week. Again, they're playing with us so much with this show.
Yeah.
They were like, we're going to give them enough end credit scenes to where they'll watch, and then we're going to take them away without saying anything.
Yeah. But this was like the first.
Boo.
I feel like, last week we were like, it felt like the final scene of the show could have been an end credit scene.
Right.
This one was like the first episode that didn't end on a cliffhanger. Oh, no, I guess it sort of did.
It did. Well, I mean, it didn't in that we know that somebody's after She-Hulk, and particularly her blood. What we didn't know is that they're like actively surveilling her. She's eating French fries with Josh, being all cute, actively surveying her. There's a message that comes up on that screen from Hulk King or King Hulk. Hulk
King, because we thought it was Hulkling.
Yeah, which I was like, whoa, Hulkling's going to be bad?
He would never.
Yeah. So we don't know who that is, but they make the most insane looking needle ever. It's probably made out of vibranium. Probably.
Yep.
100%.
I noticed we didn't see anyone's heads in the lab.
Yeah.
Perhaps a giant cranium.
It was probably Samuel, Mr. the Leader.
Mr. the Leader.
Mr. the Leader.
Mystery Leader.
Mr. the Leader. But I want to know what he means by the next phase of the plan. Is it going out to get her blood again?
Or was the first phase of the plan Josh at the wedding getting close to her?
Sad. I hope not. Like, Jen is like, feels good that somebody's paying attention to her because she's Jen.
She's just trying to have it all. And aren't we all just trying to have it all? She's doing great at work. She's got the new superhuman law division. She just wants some love. Let her have some love.
Don't fuck it up, Josh.
Fucking Josh. Trying to put a needle in her, but not the one she wants.
Okay.
That was gross.
Oh, I got it.
That was gross.
Yeah, come on.
I'm sorry.
Too far.
I'm sorry.
There's an E next to our podcast. It's fine.
There's an E.
It's like our 1 in 10 episode slip of being too explicit.
Sexual.
So I really like this episode. I'm excited for the next one.
Yeah.
I guarantee you, when do you think Daredevil will show up? Let's talk about it.
This is my theory. Okay.
I wanted to kind of remind you of it.
The final case is Jen suing whoever stole her blood. And the person who has to come in to defend her is Daredevil.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. That'd be cool.
Because guess who can't? Mallory. Because guess who turned out to be bad? Mallory.
And he's already in LA or wherever they are.
Yeah, they're in LA.
Oh, yeah, they're in LA. Yeah, he's already there because we saw his helm.
This is all. That's my theory.
Ooh, yeah, because maybe he goes to like check out this new superhero law division. Like, oh, thankfully, a new lawyer's here.
Yeah. Surprise. It's me, Daredevil.
Matt Murdock.
Indeed. What do you think?
I mean, I don't think it's going to be the next episode. I think it might be the second to last episode. Because this is an MCU property, even though it's changed a lot of stuff, there is going to have to be some big climactic fight. We have seen Daredevil and her in both of their costumes meet, so...
I can't wait for her costume reveal.
Oh, we didn't get it this one, and they knew it, and Nikki said it.
She wouldn't let her bring the business suit.
Nope.
She wouldn't let her bring the superhero costume.
Nope.
Just the pretty dress.
Yeah. Well, till next week with that. But before we go, we have to hear a special segment.
That's right. It's time for Oh Lord. Inspired by the wedding in this episode.
Oh no.
And a little bit of Mr. Immortal too. This week's little known law has us traveling back to France again.
No.
Where you are legally allowed to marry someone who has died.
Okay.
So this may sound morbid or shocking, but when you first hear it, but in reality, it's quite sad and sweet.
So do you have a funeral and a wedding?
Well, it's sad.
Oh.
Okay. So
great. I'll save my jokes until after.
So in 1959, a dam broke in southern France, killing hundreds of people. A young woman was going to marry her love, but he perished in the accident. When the president at the time, Charles de Gaulle, visited the area to pay his respects, the young woman pleaded with him to let her marry her love who had passed.
Aww.
He later went to the country's parliament, where they created a law allowing those who were intended to marry someone to make the vows even though their partner had passed.
Okay, well that's nice.
So according to a New York Times article, anyone wishing to marry a dead person must send a request to the president, who then forwards it to the justice minister, who sends it to the prosecutor in whose jurisdiction the surviving person lives.
Whoa.
If the prosecutor determines that the couple planned to marry before the death, and if the parents of the deceased approve...
Okay, too many.
It's a lot.
Guys.
The prosecutor sends a recommendation back up the line. The president, if so moved, eventually signs a decree allowing marriage.
Whoa. Okay, that's sweet. R.I.P. all the people that died with the dam.
Yeah.
Like, damn that dam. But why does it go to the president? I know it probably doesn't actually go to the president, but it goes to the president to go to all those people to go back to the president?
I think it's because people who are closer to the person need to investigate whether or not it's real.
Well, why else would you want to marry a dead person?
Well, so they had to put limits on it because people were trying to marry dead people to try and get their fortunes.
I mean,
so
that makes sense.
Literally all it does is like you can take the other person's name and you can call yourself a widower or a widow.
Ooh, here comes the widower.
And that's really it. It's just to honor that person that you love. And people still do it. 63 years later, people are still doing it.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
Okay.
I found a couple of articles from recent of people doing it. And it's sad.
It's sad, but it's like...
but you know what's funny is that like, so in researching this segment...
Wait. Sorry, real quick question. I don't know if you know this. It's just more of a question to put out there.
Yeah.
Like... You know, the person's still alive, and like, say, like 10 years goes by, you know, because she sounded kind of young.
Yeah.
I don't know by what standards, but she sounded young. I don't know. And she finds somebody she wants to marry. Does she have to? How does that work?
Know.
Like, how do you put a divorce like thing in to?
Maybe it's easier. Maybe I don't know.
They're like they're dead. Like, can I marry?
Oh well, no. Well. Right. Oh, no. Well, if you're a widow or a widower, you can get remarried.
No, I know you can, but you know what I mean?
That's
like,
the thing. So you don't need to divorce the person.
That's weird.
You know what I mean? It's like with anyone.
Well, so then why don't you just say you were married?
Because it's that, I guess that legal binding thing isn't there.
You don't get the tax break. Come on.
It's just, I think it's just a way to honor the person.
Yeah, I know. I know you're trying to be sweet. I know it's sweet.
But the thing is like that's so, okay. So this is like, I feel like whenever I'm researching this, every single article, I always start out with like a general search of like, just like odd laws, weird laws. And then you get to like these listicles that are just, it's just a listicle of clickbait.
Right.
And then when I actually do research, I'm like, oh yeah, well that makes sense.
Right.
Oh yeah, well that makes sense.
It does make sense. And some of yours, the first 4 did not make sense to me, but it's fine.
Well, the Sasquatch one, yeah.
Yeah. This one, it makes sense, but it's also like kind of funny and also is like, wait, why?
Yeah.
Like I could understand it for back then, whenever that was. But like now it's just like, okay.
Yeah.
Well,
And so it's just like funny when it's like, in France, you could marry dead people. And that's all the article says. And
air
like,
horns.
Yeah. It's like, well, wait a minute. And then you research it.
And if you bundle the funeral
Car
and wedding
insurance.
together and your home and car insurance, you get 25% off.
That's the deal of the century.
They must be making bank.
Go to France.
There's funeral homes and wedding venues all in one.
I mean, a church.
Oh, yeah. I don't go to those, so I forgot how they work. They're all in one service.
There you go. So today's episode of A Bite Of really dealt a lot with death and weddings.
I thought you were going to say it was brought to you by asbestos. Or no, formaldehyde.
Yes, there you go. Asbestos. I was like, in the walls? What?
Guys, I'm tired.
Happy Friday.
Yeah, bye.
It's Saturday for you. Whatever. Bye.
Bye.
Thanks for listening to A Bite Of. Artwork and editing by our own Noah. Be sure to subscribe and follow us on Instagram at A Bite Of Pod and on Facebook at A Bite Of. If you have questions, recommendations, or just want to say hi, you can email us at abiteofpod@gmail.com. You can find us on all podcast platforms. Please be sure to rate and review to spread the word. Hope you join us next time on A Bite Of. Bye!